If you're traveling to the Big Apple, you'll want to make sure to capture its most photogenic sites. Welcome to MojoTravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most Instagrammable spots in NYC. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the most beautiful, unique, and popularly photographed locations in New York City. We're excluding restaurants, bars, and cafes because those could make a list of their very own. Number 10. TKTS Steps.
We've sailed the seas and we've been the world over.
Times Square may be touristy and probably isn't the first thing you think of when you're aiming for cool photography, but there are actually great shots to be had here. The best time to photograph the area is after dark when the billboards and neon signs can really shine. Don't worry about getting people in your shots. The hustle and bustle of Times Square is the most memorable thing about it. The best place to stand to get a great shot is on top of the TKTS ticket booth steps. You'll get a view right down the center of the square that will be graphic and symmetrical. Number 9. Stone Street. Many tourists never make it down to the financial district, favoring the popular Midtown attractions instead. But if you do a little bit of wandering, there are eye-catching spots to be found all over the city. The cobblestone streets of the aptly named Stone Street stand out in a modern cityscape. But what really brings it home is the twinkling string lights that span the street. Though the area is gorgeous on a sunny day, your most impressive shot will be captured at night, when you can let the street lights illuminate the scene. Number 8. New York Botanical Garden. When you tire of taking urban shots dominated by glass and steel, take a trip to this quiet botanical garden tucked into a neighborhood of the Bronx. The New York Botanical Garden isn't one of the top tourist attractions because it's not in Manhattan, so it's likely that you'll have an easy time getting shots free of people. The indoor and outdoor portions of the gardens are rife with photo opportunities for both wide angles and close-ups of the beautiful flowers and plants. On a cold winter day especially, a splash of greenery will brighten up your Insta feed. Number 7. Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. One of the most iconic images of New York, the Statue of Liberty needs no introduction. Rather than buying a ticket to the site itself, your best bet for a memorable shot is to photograph the statue from the water. There are several boat tours you can choose from that circle around Ellis Island, but be sure to schedule your timing carefully for optimal lighting. The harsh midday sun won't be the most flattering or striking, so you'd be better off aiming for sunrise or sunset if you want a truly inspiring shot. Number 6. Top of the Rock. While the Empire State Building may be the most famous and popular attraction, you'll actually get more impressive views from a different skyscraper. The observatory at the top of Rockefeller Center offers a panoramic view of the city, including the silhouette of the famed Empire State Building. At most times of the year, you have to buy tickets in advance and will be assigned a time slot in which to take the elevator up. As with the Statue of Liberty, you want to time your visit well to ensure the best lighting. Sunset and dusk are popular times for photography, but a night view of the city is impressive in its own right. Number 5. Grand Central Station. Whether or not you're arriving in NYC by train, no trip is complete without a trip to the majestic Grand Central Terminal. These days, public transportation hubs are generally designed in a slightly more utilitarian manner, but back at the time of its construction, the designers went full glam. The main concourse is the most popular area to photograph, and for good reason. The soaring vaulted ceiling with its painted frescoes, coupled with the giant windows, makes for a picturesque view. To get that winning photo, position yourself on either end of the station on the steps so that you have an elevated perspective of the busy station. Number 4. High Line. Inspired by a similar project in Paris, some New Yorkers had the brilliant idea to convert an old elevated rail line into a park. Around the turn of the millennium, a group formed called Friends of the High Line with the purpose of creating a public green space out of the unused railroad tracks. The park runs for about 1.5 miles through the city and is open to the public from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily, even later in the warmer months. The juxtaposition of the greenery of the High Line with the backdrop of the great city will undoubtedly bring in the likes. Number 3. Flatiron Building. This NYC architectural staple is so iconic that the Midtown neighborhood it resides in is now named after it. Originally known as the Fuller Building, this uniquely shaped triangular structure makes for a great photograph. For the best views, head across the street to Madison Square Park and shoot the building straight on with the park's foliage to frame it. The park has lots of chairs and benches you can stand on if you need an extra boost to get your framing just right. Number 2. Bethesda Fountain and Central Park. It's no secret that Central Park is one of the most beautiful spots in Manhattan, but many tourists also stroll along the perimeter of the Upper East Side, and in doing so miss out on the picturesque sights within. If you're heading into the park, there are lots of great photo spots to hit, starting with the gorgeous Bethesda fountain. To get there, walk down the tree-lined mall that you'll recognize from many memorable movie scenes. Be sure not to miss the Central Park Boathouse or the Belvedere Castle while you're there. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Brooklyn Bridge. One of the world's best-known bridges is one of the most frequently photographed. The best way to experience the Brooklyn Bridge is of course by traversing its span on foot, which will give you the opportunity to photograph it from all angles, capturing the intricate architecture of the structure. This is also a great spot for urban wedding and portrait photo shoots. Though lesser known, the Manhattan Bridge is also very photogenic. The most impressive shot can be found in the Dumbo Village of Brooklyn on Washington Street, where the peak of the bridge is perfectly framed by the street's buildings on either side. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MojoTravels and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.